everybody, and welcome to Project Life Thursdays, where I am working in my Project Life album. So today I want to set up March. I have some supplies here. January and February are completely done. So in my Life Simply Documented group this week, I shared my February journaling and how I got that done. I'll give you a peek of that maybe next week or when I do a walkthrough of where I'm at. But today what I wanted to do is set up the month of March. So I like to do this in advance. I refer to these as foundation pages. I really like to do this several months in advance. It just makes it easier. And I feel like by batching the creative process, like getting all the supplies together and putting the foundation down, it makes it a little bit easier. Currently, I'm just doing it 1 month at a time, and that is mostly because I'm using these Ali Edward products, and this is the March kit. And so these are all of the things that came in the March story by the month. And so I've been using that and then pulling other product to coordinate with it. So that's the kit. I also have these label stickers that I will probably use for journaling. And then what I did is I pulled out a couple pieces of paper. The first pieces are these camera pieces, and I want to use that for my calendar page for behind it. And then these couple pieces right here are from the Clementine core kit, which was one of the first core kits Becky Higgins ever released. And unfortunately, you can't get core kits very easily anymore, but you certainly can't get the Clementine core kit. I love the Clementine core kit. It is my all-time favorite. I loved when she used to do a pack of 12 by 12 paper that coordinated with a core kit. I wish she would do that again, or I wish somebody would do that again because I loved it. So this is what matches my the March kit from Ali Edwards the best. So I'm just showing you the product that I'm going to use. That's always where I start, and then I will set that aside. I also pulled out some of the core kit cards. So this is the 4x6 cards. That Hello card is from the Jade kit. Yeah, that's from the Jade kit. But the rest of this is from the Clementine core kit. And then there's just a couple other 3x4 cards. These have rounded corners. So when I use any of this product in the spread, I will trim that down and make them square corners. I don't like to mix my corners. Like if it's round, then I want everything to be round for the month. I don't mind if it's different throughout the album, but I really just think of my Project Life album in monthly segments. And so if the month is in square corners, then I want them all in square corners. If they're rounded, then I want them all rounded. So I will go ahead and trim these down and then add like paper or, cardstock to them to make sure that they are all square. So I'm going to bring my album back over, and I'm probably going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. My camera is going to shake a little tiny bit. Sorry about that. I'm going to line everything back up, and then we're going to get started putting all these pieces together. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add my piece of paper here to the back of my calendar. I'm using this photo paper. This I got from scrapbook.com. I looked for it and I could not find it, which is really sad. I would buy 100 more pieces of that paper. I've used it for a ton of different things. For any of the supplies that I use that I can find and link, I will do that on my coordinating blog post, which you will be able to find in the YouTube description link below. If you're catching this on YouTube, if you're already on my website, you will already see those links. And then also in the YouTube description box below is a link to join Life Simply Documented. That is my documenting group where we do lots of things every single week. We have 2 exclusive projects that happen, a website full of inspiration for you, and then there is a 2 traditional pages that I do each month that will be coming out next week. And when you join, you get all the past content. So if you join this month, then you will get January and February's workshop pages. I also am currently loading into the website all of the past simply layered pages I've done, which those are the traditional pages that I put together. So I'm just taking photos of those and getting them loaded into the website. So there's just a lot of content there, and we would love to have you be a part of that group. So you can find those links in the description below. So I took the 6x8 paper that comes in the Ali Edwards kit. It comes in one of the kits. I don't love that she's doing the 6x8 paper. I wish she was doing more cards, like the 4x6 and 3x4 Project Lifestyle cards. That's what I use more. I don't tend to use the 6x8. I know that she does do, like the majority of Ali Edwards' memory keeping is done in 6x8 albums, and so that's why she includes that, which I totally get. I don't do that, so I tend to cut these papers down. So I cut that paper down, and I'm going to use that as my title card. I'm just shopping a few things around and just seeing if I want to layer anything else. I'm just going to end up layering this chipboard piece that came with the Stories by the Month kit on there. I don't necessarily feel like I need to add March on that title card because my calendar and my divider right there have March on it. So sometimes it becomes a little bit repetitive to put March on that first card, but I do like to have that as a holding place, or like a like I don't really like a photo there at all, actually. Like, I don't think I've ever stuck a photo there. I like to like start the month off with that card there. I don't know, it's just the way I like things to flow in my album. But if you had more photos, you could definitely just add a photo there if you're doing monthly and you have a monthly calendar. I just like something to like state what month we're in. So I'm trimming down these cards because, like I said, they are rounded, and I don't want the corners to be rounded. It just so happened to work out that the striped card is orange, and that's the back of one of my February cards. So I'm actually just going to take that card out and attach this hello card to the back of that card. And that just happened to work out. That doesn't always work out. If it didn't, I would just add my own, I would just grab some of the pink or whatever and back that card. So I'm going to pull that one card out from the back after I put these in, and I will do my journaling separately. So one thing that was hard for me in March, or that I maybe slacked off a little bit in, was taking photos. For whatever reason, I just did not take a lot of photos in March. I think because March started out with such horrible weather for us still. We were, all of this weather that you see here in February was right at the end of February, and that leaked into March. And so there wasn't a lot going on. We were really stuck in the house. It was raining and snowing and cold, and the kids ended up being out of school a lot. There were a lot of canceled school days, and so we were just, watching movies and hanging out and having fires and, just sleeping in, so there was literally not a lot going on, and it was sort of displacing, like the weather and what was happening. It was, it was March, so it was feeling like we should be out and doing things and getting ready for spring break, and we were kind of all shut up, in the house. So there was that, and then there was spring break, which the weather wasn't much better for spring break, and so we didn't do anything. We didn't go anywhere, and also Esau was working really crazy hours because people couldn't get to work because they were snowed in, or they, the weather was preventing them from getting to work. So March just did not have a lot of photos. And at the end, you'll see what I'm going to do to fill in March. I have enough photos to do the front page, which is the page you're looking at right now, and then my back page, which are just my random kind of photos for the month. And that would be totally fine. If I don't have any extra stories to tell in the month, it's totally fine. I don't have to tell any extra stories. It's just if I have stories that I want to highlight, I can. But I'm totally fine if I just had to design a page protectors and my photos. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But there is I'll show you at the end what I'm going to do as one of my extra stories for the month of March. I am taking the leftover piece of that designer piece of paper, that pattern piece of paper. I'm adding that to my calendar. And then I'm also going to add this chipboard. And I think I will add at least one more chipboard. And then I will do the stamping of my calendar later when I do my journaling. I'll do all of that together. That's just the way I like to do it. Now I have all my events and everything, obviously, because March is already over. So I could do my stamping here, but it's easier to do my journaling and stamping all together. I just feel like it flows better, and then I'm just more productive in that way. But I added those few things, and then I have my photo paper on the back, and I'll put anything in there that I need to. And then my divider. I actually like my divider to be on the front part of my calendar, so later on I will change that around. So here is the back part of March, so the very end page. And I'm going to cut this piece up here, and I'm going to use it as 3x4 just to tie these two pages together. You don't always see them if I have other things in the middle of my album. You don't see the those two pages together, but it just connects everything. And a great way to use that 6x8 pattern paper that you get in the kit if you don't do 6x8 stuff. Sometimes I do keep those and do other things with them, but this is working out well. So I'm going to use that Finding in March card, and I'm just going through a few things. I really want to use those vellum tags, but I don't know how to use them. That's the thing. I might use them in my spread that I'm going to do as an extra spread. You might see it show up there. But I just needed to think through those vellum tags because I love them and the colors go really great, but I'm just not positive how to use them. They might be good with photos if I did small photos on them, but again, I don't have a lot of photos in March, so I don't want to like necessarily force myself to use them if it doesn't make sense, but I just wanted to think through it. So I'm going to add, right here, I trimmed down that card, and I will do journaling on that card. I will probably do handwriting journaling on that card because it's lined. It's a lined card, so I'll do that. I haven't done a lot of handwriting of my journaling in my album so far this year. I've done a lot of typed, so that might be a great place to add some of my handwriting. And then I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Sometimes the cards need a little sliver taken off of them for them to fit in the pockets. That's normal. All pockets are going to be different. You know, each brand is going to have different the way the pockets fit. I use Becky Higgins Project Life for Design A page protectors, and I have like 1,000 of them because when she announced she wasn't going to be creating physical product anymore, I kind of freaked out a little bit, and I kept buying the big packs of it. Like every month I would buy one pack, and then she said, oh wait, just kidding, I am going to continue to make physical products. And so I have like 1,000 of these Design A, which is totally fine. It's what I use. And I prefer all of my page protectors to match because, again, they're not always the same size. And particularly, I know the Stampin' Up! Page protectors, the 12x12 that they used to sell, stuck out quite a bit. They were wider than all other page protectors, so I would have all this funky like sizing in my album. I didn't like it, so I just made the decision to always stay with the same page protector size. And if something like that bothers you, that might be something that you want to do as well. I always say pick the thing that you want to make the investment with the most. And for me, that's my page protectors and my albums. Everything else, I don't mind, like different pattern papers, different companies. Ali Edward cards are always really thick. Like Simple Stories is always thinner. Like none of that bothers me. But my album and my page protectors, I'm going to spend the most money on because I want them. I'm very particular about them, right? And so it ends up working out. in the end when you look at it that way. So I just added that chipboard piece. And again, these are just my foundation pieces. At this point, I don't even have my photos. I had ordered my photos and they were on the way, and I just received them this week. So that's good. I'll be able to drop those photos in. And so now I'm just looking at what I have left to see the cards that I have left and what else I need to add in here. And then the next thing that I'm doing that you see now is I am just looking at what's left, and I'm specifically pulling out things that I know I want to use. I really want to use that tag card from Ali Edwards. I want to use those vellum pieces, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep these scraps right here because I want to be able to see if I can use them. I don't know that I will, and I don't keep scraps. That's one thing that I don't bother keeping. If it is a tiny scrap, I just throw it away. I just found I was getting too overwhelmed with all of the scraps, and I didn't really go back and look through them, particularly because I do monthly scrapbooking like this. Like once I am done with March, all of these products that I've pulled together, I'm not gonna use them in the next month. And so I just end up getting rid of them, but I'm going to keep them until I am totally done with March. And then I will go ahead and get rid of anything. I also have a little bit of sticker paper there from when I did my journaling for February, so I will keep that. So now I want to show you a few things that I'm going to do for March for some extra stories, and that is I have this, let me just move all of this stuff out of the way, but I have a couple things that I printed, and I will link them on the blog post. The first one is this TV tracker I got from another YouTuber, and then this piece here are actually digital stamps from Ali Edwards, and then along with those TVs. So the TVs and then the page that had all the different images are from Ali Edwards. They were just digital stamps and a digital product. And then the TV tracker is from HEPA, My Little Journal. I purchased that from her Etsy shop. And I'm going to do some tracking or some documenting of the things that we're currently watching. And so I will do that. I've added a 9x12 page protector from Ali Edwards, and I'm going to put this card in here. It says, I think it says remember. Yeah, remember. It's slightly larger. Like I was surprised I needed to trim off a little part of this bottom, but I might do like spring break, like what we did. I'll have to get my photos and see exactly what I have, but I wanted to use these cards, so I'll find something to put in there, and you will see that. I will show you what photos I use. But I'm going to filter in some cards and some paper here. And then on a separate piece, in a separate page protector, I will track the TV and what we're watching. One thing that we've been watching this year is Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. And my husband had seen a couple episodes and said that I would like it. And we needed a new show to get into. And I watched one of the episodes of Chicago Fire and got totally addicted. And if you're not watching the Chicago Fire and the Chicago PD, there's actually 3 of them. There's Chicago Med too. We've watched a couple episodes because they do crossover episodes, and I don't know, they're pretty phenomenal. I have a friend that's her husband's a firefighter, and she I actually have been watching it since last year, because at Thanksgiving she was like, oh, have you seen that? And I said, yeah. And she was like, it's so unrealistic. And I laughed, and I was like, I'm not watching these shows because I don't want to watch a documentary. If I want it to be real, I'll watch a documentary. Like literally, I'm only watching it to be entertained. So I kind of want to I do. I want to document that we've been watching this. They're so fun to watch, and they're really emotional, which is, I don't know, can be interesting, the conversations they bring up. So I don't know, I just really love that. My husband and I, we watch these kinds of shows. If you are into like the reality shows, or if you like The Voice and Dancing with the Stars and like those kinds of shows. Like, it would be fun to document, like, watching those. I know I documented last year in my album when we watched Dancing with the Stars. It was really fun. We hadn't watched it in years, and we documented that, and it was fun to see that. And I talked about, like, the kids' reaction and how Violet loved watching Dancing with the Stars. She loved all of the beautiful dresses, and so that was kind of fun. So that it's not just like, oh, we're watching this. I like to document why, like, why are we watching it? What is fun about watching it? Like, these are emotional shows. And I get emotional with them, and there's episodes that make me cry, and there's episodes that, like, I can't watch. Like, the medical stuff is hard for me to watch, and I'm like, no, I cannot watch this episode. And it's just fun to document those kinds of things, and something that we're really into right now. So I'll do that on a separate page protector. I'm not sure what size I'm going to use yet. And then what you just saw me do is I'm going to leave that pocket empty except the piece of chipboard. So I just trimmed the chipboard pieces down so that they matched. And then I want to make that a shaker pocket where I add some sequins and some fun things, and then seal it up with my with the tool that I have. So you will probably see me do that. I'm gonna stick those tags right in those pockets because I might use them in that pocket, in those pockets. That might be a good space for those. And then I'm gonna set aside the TV trackers. I'm thinking about doing it in a 6x12. And I'll trim that stuff out, and we will do that later in the month. I will do a course. I will share that video with you on a Project Life Thursday. So thank you so much for joining me for Project Life Thursdays. I hope that you're having a great day. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. And there are 2 other videos from Project Life Thursdays here on the screen, and you can check those out, and make sure to check out my blog post with extra photos and links.